Welcome to Picks with the Professor, a sports betting show brought to you by a real statistics professor and his friends. We are here to talk about games for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. But have to start off, Jake, by asking you, so we're recording this the evening of April 7th. The college basketball national championship game is going on as we speak. Is this the best day of the year or the worst day of the year for a college basketball fan, knowing that this is the last day of college basketball until November?
It's a very, very mixed emotions, right? Like, 'cause,
Mm.
you want the end of it, and you got a really good game going on, but at the same time, it's the end, and you've got 6, 7 months without all you're
Mm.
looking for is that high school kids or transfer portal and like who's on your team and all. But everybody gets hope back, so maybe it is the best day of the year. After this, it's all hope, and
Yeah,
nobody's lost to nobody's state yet and ruin
yeah,
their career or something like that.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah. After today, everybody is undefeated for the next year. So hope springs eternal. With college football, we at least used to, at least I somewhat look forward to some of the spring games. But now they've changed so much of that there's no spring games really anymore. College basketball, I feel like there's not really much until they get the. I know Midnight Madness used to be a big deal. Like it was the first day of practice.
now you
Maybe.
get secret scrimmages that are televised. So
Oh, really? Oh, well, hey, that's good. I didn't even know that. So, yeah, sad, but also, happy it's the national championship games. Good close game so
yeah.
far. But hate that it's the last college basketball game of the season. But we are here to talk about baseball. And Jake, I've really been hoping that your Braves would turn it around, not to rub it in or anything. I think the one that especially got me was the Otani walk-off. I think that was the last game that Sale started, maybe that you and I talked about last time we were on here together. And I thought for sure that, they got a good start from Sale. It looked like they were finally going to turn things around, and then Otani did Otani things. I assume your analysis of the Braves is basically the same. Just everything that could go wrong has gone wrong so far.
Yeah, that and like it's just I don't know. It's like they're fighting in quicksand, man. They
Mm-hmm.
can't get anywhere. Offense
Mm-hmm.
shows up that game, you lose it on a walk off to probably the greatest player
Yeah.
playing. So you're
Yeah.
not mad about that, but it's just like how does this always happen? And then you come back, you look good against the Marlins that first game, you put up some runs, you win. Defense played well, and then you turn around and drop the next one. And the next one gets rained
Yeah.
out to Marlins, who are just a very good AAA team right now.
Yeah, yeah. In when you're, I don't know this, but I would think the Braves would love an off day, to get their heads right, just not against the Marlins, because that's a team that you would want to play to get yourself right anyway. You'd want that day off against one of the good teams, but even the Braves even have bad luck when it comes to rainouts at this point. So yeah, the poor Braves. Hopefully, we're going to talk about them, a little foreshadowing. We're going to talk about them pretty quick off the bat here. Got another sale start coming, so always good to talk about the Braves when he's on the mound. Usually, I would give a recap of the previous day's picks, but Professor covered a couple late games, so games still ongoing there. So no recap for picks for Monday, April 7th. So we'll dive right on into the picks for Tuesday, April 8th. Just a couple of reminders about Sidelines. It's a player-based model, so it will reflect all of the latest transactions, pitchers getting injured seemingly endlessly, the Brewers having to trade for a AAA guy from the Orioles because they literally have no more arms to start games. So Sideline knows that, takes it into consideration. Average grade is 100. Higher implies more runs. So offensive grades want to be higher. Pitching grades you want to be lower. We're projecting an average game, but one game anything could happen, and any bet is a good bet at the right price. If you are serious about your sports betting, make sure to join us on our honor roll package over at Dub Club. Discord chat, projections, probabilities, all sorts of good information for every single baseball game every day. Detailed notes, all for the price of $29.99 a month. Use the link in the show description. It'll get you half off for your first month. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think one of the most valuable things that we get is the weather data that comes in just a blanket statement. Tuesday, April 8th, going to be a big day for weather. Lots of weather adjustments to be made. So make sure if you're with us on Dub Club that you're reading those notes the professor sends out. Make sure that you check again in the morning for any weather updates because the weather will be impacting some of the games. We actually had really good weather the first week. That's coming back around this week. Got some weather to deal with. So kicking it off with the first game we're going to talk about here, first pitch for the Phillies and Braves I'm going to go with 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies against Chris Sale for the Braves. I mean, what more do you need to say? Just two of the best pitchers in the game. Sideline has these both as top 8 pitchers. Both bullpens are good. The Phillies offense has been really good so far this season. The Braves offense we've talked about has not been, but you would have to think they're going to come around. I think they are better than that number 20 rating. They have played as a number 20 so far. I think they're better than that. I think it's going to be good, close game. Sideline, even with the slow start that the Braves have gotten off to, thinks that the Braves should be favored in this one. But we are here to talk about the total. Sideline projecting 6.4, probably average runs in this game. Probably not surprising given the arms that are on the mound and the weather here. But Jake, why do you like going under 7 in this game?
One, the Braves offense hasn't shown any signs of getting it right. I mean,
so they're going to turn it around, just not on this day.
Well, typically there's like like little signs like up, and then it breaks through. There's not been that. I don't find the breakthrough game going to be against Wheeler, who is just incredible. You've also got Sale on the mound, who's incredible. It feels like he's been pitching at this level for decades, but he's absolutely still got it. These two guys can go deep as well. Relievers are both good. You got 2 relievers inside the top 10. They're like reliever groups inside the top 10. I don't see a lot of where this offense is going to break through on the pitching on either side, and it's probably going to end up like 3-2 Phillies on a walk off again. Just to making my life miserable.
Yeah, of course. As my father-in-law would say, everybody's out to get me. And if you're a Braves fan, I'm sure that's how it feels right now, that everybody is out to get you. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over here to the next slide because we've got an example of all of the notes and the goodies that you get whenever you join us over on Dub Club. Just the things that I want to point out. Not only is this a really good pitching matchup, but the park and weather adjusts the average number of runs in this game by 9%. So that 6.4 runs that Sideline is projecting is helped out by the weather. You also mentioned the bullpens. Both bullpens here are good. But if you isolate the top arms for the bullpens, the ones that we would assume would be used in high leverage situations, they're almost the same grade, which is not to say that the top end of the bullpen isn't good. The top end of bullpens are good. The back ends of these bullpens are good too. So you mentioned we expect these pitchers to go long, even if for some reason they don't. I think the bullpens can pick up the slack. So I as well like the under 7 here. I think this is going to be a really low scoring game. So the second game that we're going to talk about is going to be the Reds at the Giants. First pitch in this one, 9:45 p.m. Eastern. Nick Lodolo for the Reds going against Landon Rupp for the Giants. I feel like, not that I feel like both starting pitchers in this one they're fine. They're good. This is more about the offenses and the poor Reds not really being able to get much done. They had the one game against the Rangers maybe it's been a week ago now, close to a week ago, and then they just fell off the face of the planet. If there's any team that can, give Braves fans some solace, it's the Reds, because, at least you're not the Reds. Just don't look at the wins, because I think the Reds have 3 wins and the Braves only have 1. But other than that, blind resume without wins. The Braves the Braves look better than the Reds at this point. So this is just one of those things where the starting pitchers are going to have an advantage for both sides, in my opinion. And then you've got the ballpark out there in San Francisco that's always going to be one to limit runs. So Sideline projects 6.9 runs in this one. We are going to go under 7.5. Jake, what caught your eye on this game?
It's like I said, it's the offenses. The Reds had the one game and then refused to score after that. The Giants have been playing better than our offense. At least been playing better than what I expected coming in, but I still don't see it. I like Lodolo. I think he's a little bit better than what we're a little closer to being in that upper 30s, top 20s pitcher than what Sideline does. But that's just my opinion on the guy. But both teams have pitchers that are above average and going to do well. The only scary part about this under is the Reds relievers. So you can see that is a big number there that they're scoring with. But with the Giants having an incredible bullpen and the Reds offense struggling, I think I feel very safe with this under 7.5.
Okay, yeah, I definitely tend to agree with everything that you said there. The Giants, looking at the notes the professor gave us over on Dub Club, the Giants offense is a little bit better against the Reds, but it's almost negligible. It's not much better at all, just slightly better. And again, with the park factors, we talk about the weather being making such an impact in other games across the country. San Francisco, it doesn't really matter. It's generally the park that is going to limit the runs there more so than the weather itself. So 59 degrees at first pitch, 57 degrees at the end. It's going to be a cool night in San Francisco as usual. So basically, we're just counting on both these teams to do what they've been doing in each game so far this season. So that will take us to our last game that we're going to chat about. It's going to be the Padres visiting the A's. And again, I apologize for every time that I will reference Oakland when I talk about the A's. It will happen at some point this season, so I'm apologizing in advance. First pitch on this one, 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Dylan Cease for the Padres going up against Jeffrey Springs of the A's. Springs definitely one of the better arms that the A's can throw out there to start. Key thing in this one, playing in Sacramento, the offenses here both are highly rated. If the professor was here, I'm sure he would be able to tell me that I guess the locations that these teams are playing is taken into account and the offenses are normalized based on that information. You cannot convince me that the A's playing however many games they've played in Sacramento, maybe they've played 3 in Sacramento so far, and then playing a series in Colorado against the Rockies. You cannot tell me that the A's offensive numbers are not a little bit inflated from what they should be. So you've got a technically, I guess, by sideline standards, a matchup of top 6 offenses here, and then a starting pitcher mismatch. Cease obviously quite a bit better than Springs is. But Jake, my question to you is: does it matter since they're playing in Sacramento how good Dylan Cease is?
No, I don't think it matters at all because we've got an absolute just park that's just giving up runs left and right. The offenses are, even if you think they're overinflated, the A's offense has been playing well, and they're back in the park that they played well at. So it's very well that they might sneak one or two off of Cease, and then you get to the relievers where the Padres kind of struggle with pitching staff wise, and then the A's struggle pitching, and the Padres have even with the loss of stuff, whoever, and like Merrill maybe playing or maybe not playing. I mean, they still have a loaded lineup all through there. It's just I don't see that there's a break here. I mean, the Cubs offense isn't amazing, and they were putting up 4 or 5 runs every couple innings. It felt like in that first series in Sacramento, and I see a very similar type result happening here.
Yeah. So, viewer, if you couldn't guess, we're going over 8.5 here, and not a huge edge by what Sideline says. I will, give the reminder 9 a very common outcome. So even if the edge isn't that big, just being able to win at 9 runs is important. But for us, this is more about just the environment out there in Sacramento more than anything else. So as of right now, Sideline only adjusts the anticipated runs in games played in Sacramento by 2% due to the park. That will increase. I can almost guarantee you. It's a sample size thing. Like, they've only played 3 games there so far, so it's just we can't. Sideline is based on the numbers, and it can't just jump way out there with a sample size that small. But you can be guaranteed that these total projections for the A's will creep out there when they're playing in San Francisco. It's just going to take a little bit, I think, to get enough data to kind of take that up to maybe a 5% adjustment as opposed to a 2% adjustment. So small edge, but we still think that there is value to be had there. So that wraps up all of our picks for Tuesday, April 8th. And a reminder, if you want more free picks, join us over on Dub Club. Use the link in the show description for half off your first month. And soon we will be having limited Discord access for free. So stick around, watch the shows. As soon as that becomes available, we will make sure you have all of the information that you could possibly need there. And make sure to follow the professor and all of he's calling them graduate assistants, his friends, the other people that help produce these picks. Make sure to follow them on social media. So with that being said, Jake, do you have any final words before we sign off for today's picks?
No, this has just been an incredible March Madness tournament, and it's going to end in one of the probably best ways we can. So just sit back. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you come out on the right side with your bet, whatever that is, and let's make some money here on baseball.
A fitting way to end the show with this being the national championship for college basketball. So thank you for joining us, viewer. And as always, remember that you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.